Hey guys!
Hey guys!
We're back with another Outcast review, this time reviewing Outcast Season 1, Episode 2, titled I Remember When She Loved Me. If you haven't seen it yet and you want to avoid any spoilers, skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler. So, Episode 2 veered a little bit away from the way the comic books have gone, mostly with the crucified raccoons out in the woods.
Yeah, this is a storyline that isn't explored in the comic, and I like when they do stuff like that, especially Robert Kirkman. With he said for The Walking Dead, sometimes he has an idea for the story, and goes a different way for the comics, and this is a way for him to explore that secondary idea, and this kind of feels like that. Like this was something he had thought of, and he's now exploring it in the show. Also
in this episode, Kyle broke his mom out of the hospital, which didn't happen at all in the comics. But really the reason why they did that in the show is what was basically just to give that flashback and show the viewer exactly what Kyle went through with his mom.
Yeah, it was kind of to tell their story, which you get in bits and pieces throughout the comics. And this just kind of made it feel more cohesive, so you know their story going in, as opposed to learning it throughout a couple of episodes.
And finally in this episode, we met Sydney for the very first time. Genius casting decision here with Brent Spiner.
Yeah, like, he nailed it. He was perfect.
He didn't have a whole lot of dialogues, but Brent Spiner, he just has he's one of the best character actors out there right now, period. If you give him a role, the man can do it. He can flat out act.
Yeah, and even without words, just like facial expressions, because like you see him quite a bit and he only says very little, but like just seeing him, I don't know, it was perfect.
He just has this aura of sinisterness.
Yeah, like he felt like Sydney. For anybody who's read the comics, he was perfect.
Yeah. All in all, I really enjoyed Episode 2. The overall story didn't move forward that much, but I'm excited to see that they're doing things a little bit differently from the comics, and that has me excited to see what else they're going to do. What other ideas were banging around in Robert Kirkman's mind when he was writing that he wants to explore in the show.
Yeah, and this episode basically just set the stage for the story to come, gave a lot of details that you're going to need later on that are going to be good later on. And having read the comics, we already knew all these details, but it was still an amazing episode. Like, they were able to give us these details in a way that was interesting and kind of drew you in.
And in a way that we didn't see in the comics, which that's what I really appreciate the most, is even like in The Walking Dead or Outcast or whatever you're talking about as far as a television show based on a comic book or a novel or whatever, I like it when things are a little bit differently. Yeah. Because I've already read it. I know how it's going to go. I want something new and fresh. So I like it when they veer a little bit like that. If it's totally different and it's not at least as good as the source material, then I have a problem.
Yeah, but it's nice to see the same story told in two different ways. Yeah. Like, it should be a different experience, and this is definitely a different experience.
And it's just as good as the comics.
Yes.
This is something we hammered Game of Thrones on for Season 5.
Yeah.
They changed a lot of stuff from the books, and it wasn't as good as the books with the changes that they made. But for Outcast, at least so far, the changes that they've made have been just as good as the comics. If you're not watching Outcast on Cinemax, seriously, you gotta check it out. If you're not reading the comics, you really need to read them. They're some of the best comics on shelves right now.
Yeah, they're really, really good.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this review. If you have anything to add, let us know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this review, and we really hope you did, be sure to tell us by dropping a like on it and subscribe for more reviews.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.